Hello, and welcome to the 81st episode of the Accountant Success Secrets podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Lee, and I run the Soul Practice Club for accountants. I'm also a mentor, speaker, and debunker for accountants.
And I'm Philippa Haynes, a brand expert for accountants and bookkeepers, supporting you to stand out.
Each week on the podcast, we showcase another experienced accountant or bookkeeper who we think can inspire and encourage other accountants and bookkeepers in practice.
Yeah, we both recognise that every accountant and bookkeeper is unique and distinct, and they have different backgrounds, experiences, and reasons for starting and building their practices.
So we ask them to share their stories, including the highs, the lows, and what they've learned along the way. We look to explore what makes them different in terms of their background, their successes, their failures, and their focus.
Yeah, and it's all about providing some fundamental insights for other people like you, our loyal listener.
And if you'd like to share your story in a similar way, do please get in touch with Philippa or me. We're now looking for guests for January. We're fully booked through till the end of the year. And in January, probably won't be anyone who still suffers from the January rush. But I know there's plenty of accountants out there who'll be up for an interview.
Hope so. January, wow, that's brilliant. Okay, so today let's think about that. It's our 66th interview, and we're delighted to introduce Nicky Gentle, who started providing bookkeeping services to clients in 2007. She now lives in Devizes in Wiltshire. She's licensed by the AAT and set up Thrive Bookkeeping in 2001. Some of her clients, however, have been with her since as far back as 2009. Very good. 2009, does that make sense? No.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes,
1991? Oh, okay.
No, so I was going to say Thrive Bookkeeping was born in 2021, but I traded
Right. There we go. That's the difficult bit. Yeah. Anyway.
But I have had clients since 2009, right the way through.
Okay. So anyway, she provides, she being Nikki, the full range of recurring bookkeeping services and financial management support through to year-end reporting support. She liaises closely with clients' accountants to ensure that clients are well supported with no duplicated effort. And we welcome her and a certain furry friend.
Yes.
Oh, the furry friend has disappeared.
Welcome, Nikki. And
hello from Holly.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that intro?
I mean that's me in a nutshell, really. I fell in. Well, I mean, we'll get further into that, but I did fall into it, and I can't believe I'm here. Oh God, I might cry today. There you go. I might cry today. Because, I'm very proud of what I've. And yeah, I can't believe I'm here 17 plus years later, still bookkeeping. And there's been a few times where I've sat outside the office having a really stressful day. I think, I don't want to do this anymore. But
this is going to be wonderful.
I hope this is therapeutic for you.
I was going to say it might be, but what's the word? When you just
cathartic.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, before we go any further, and I'm looking forward to hearing all about it, and I hope it's happy tears. We must thank the sponsor.
Proud. I'm just
proud tears.
Sorry, it looks like I've got like a candle over my left shoulder. It is just a light before anyone thinks I'm on fire. I mean, I'm on fire.
Right, let's thank our sponsor first, and then we're going to get straight into this because I can see it's going to be wonderful. So Pinnacle Global Group, our trusted offshoring partner to over 150 accounting and bookkeeping firms across the UK and Ireland, led by London-based chartered accountant Mayank Pandya. With offices in London and Mumbai and a team of over 300 professionals, Pinnacle provides both compliance resourcing from accountants, bookkeepers and payroll admins to tax and audit associates. They're also value-added support, including management accountants, virtual finance controllers and financial analysts, and in fact, much, much more. They're GDPR compliant, ISO certified and covered by professional indemnity insurance, offering flexible models, full-time, part-time or pay as you go. You can even start with a trial period or join their sponsored trip to Mumbai to meet the rest of the team in person. To find out more, go to www.pinnacleoss.co.uk or click the link wherever you're listening to this podcast.
Also supporting the podcast, no.
All right.
Yeah,
Shall I take over?
No, saying also supporting the podcast is the Tax Advice Network. It was just unfortunate. I could feel that cough building. The Tax Advice Network website enables accountants to choose specific specialist tax advisors for general tax support or for help across any of over 100 areas of tax. It's free to use. You just pay the tax advisor that you choose after agreeing terms with them, whether for ad hoc advice or a regular tax clinic type support service. Go take a look at their website, findataxadvisor.online, where you can also register to get their weekly tax tips, which are written especially for general practitioner accountants.
Yep. And finally, before we start the interview, just a reminder to subscribe to our podcast on the Patreon platform. This is where you can show your love and support for the podcast and also receive exclusive Patreon only extras.
You'll need to download the Patreon app. Oh, it's not just me. But once you've subscribed, you'll get the extra episodes via your normal podcast platform. You'll find details of what to do in our normal podcast notes and on the Accountant Success Secrets pages on Facebook and on LinkedIn.
Yeah, right. Let's get back to Nikki, who hopefully has finished coughing now. And we aim to keep this to around 30 minutes and we focus on a few key questions.
I'll go first. So let's go back to the start, Nikki. And you've got two starts in a way. You've got 2007 when you started bookkeeping, and then when you started Thrive in 2021, I think. So how did you come to set up your own practice, and what changed to prompt the launch of Thrive?
Okay, so I'm going to give some background very quickly. As a child, I was absolutely obsessed with horses and ponies. So all through school, everything, I was absolutely determined I was going to have a career. I actually thought I was going to go to the Olympics and do 3-day eventing. I actually have cerebral palsy mildly.
Oh, wow.
So that sort of put paid to having that sort of career. And I did work after school for 10 months in a riding school. Yeah, too tough. So I did a 2-year course, the NNEB course for childcare. Worked as a nanny for a bit with horsey people. Again, just too young for that, really. So I ended up working in a couple of offices between sort of 20 and 25. But when I was 21, I fell ill with chronic fatigue syndrome, ME. So after 4 years working at the Prudential in Reading, which is, if you come from Reading, you've all got to work at the Pru for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But I was really poorly, so I worked in annuities. So I worked with the numbers done, learned some, how to work in an office, but ended up leaving there in 2003 and went on incapacity benefit and so on, just to try and get myself better. So going on a couple of years, I'd seen a bookkeeping course at the local college. It was part-time. I wanted to do something part-time that I could cope with physically. So I think it was the OCR course in accounting, as simple as that. It was your trial balances, your T accounts, it was your PERL with PARLS with your balance sheet stuff and so on, and so on and so on and so on. Past all of that, and then I don't know really what I was going to do with that, but I just remember I made a call to a local accountant in Wokingham, and just to say, oh, how much do you charge for bookkeeping? And he said, oh, well, I don't offer bookkeeping because I don't have a bookkeeper. And I said, all right, thank you very much. And then I thought, I'll put the phone down, and I rang him straight back and said, actually, I'm a bookkeeper. I mean bookkeeper. And he said, anyway, and there was born a sort of mentorship, and he's only just retiring now.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so he's in Wokingham. He's been a huge part of my life. I mean, teaching me stuff, yes. And and some of the clients I had in my early days. But my bookkeeping, that I understood was just using a few spreadsheets to record a few sales and expenses. So, and can you do my VAT? What's about? Oh, honestly, I just can't believe what I didn't know then. It was then in 2007, I also went to a networking thing, my first one, 2007, at the Crown Plaza in Reading. And I met an accountant there who was also just starting up. Can I mention her name?
Yeah,
that's Nicky Gorringe of Gorringe.
Oh yeah, we know Nikki.
Nikki Larkin. So I have to say, she's been huge part of we don't do lots of close work together. I do recommend her for her services for clients, but what she did for me in those early days, she very kindly directed me into doing the AAT and to doing the and I've only actually done the level 3. I tried to do level 4, too stressful, and then just haven't been able to finish it. That's fine, because I'm good at what I do. That's my niche. And then she also put me onto QuickBooks, which was obviously desktop at the time. Bless her, she'd come, and this was really early days for her and she'd come around into my little living room, and she'd say, right, do this, do that, and the other. And to see what she's done now is fantastic.
And you might not know, Nikki, that Nicky Larkin was our 8th interview guest on our 10th podcast back in
so that was when, sorry, Mark?
Back in January 2024. So
surprised me. So I think I probably saw that.
Still
anyway,
available.
So yeah,
if anybody wants to go back and listen again.
Yeah, I will. And then I just sort of started picking up clients. So I got some clients through this accountant, and I mean, what I know now and how I do my job now, Nikki in 2007, 2008 would have been, it's just it is a different job now, in so many ways. But because of the AAT and because of getting onto that software, I've said this to Nikki. I have thanked her, but also her team so I did a little bit of work for Nikki. I went to her living room and sort of did some filing for her and bits and pieces. So she was brilliant around then.
Wow.
So
that's a great story.
We're both Reading based, and I moved to Devizes. So the reason Thrive was born, I moved to Wiltshire 5 years ago this week or next week. So and I don't really know. I don't know why again. So I was a sole trader for years and years. I then wanted to get my own personal finances on more of a, because about mortgages and stuff, I wanted to sort of have more of a clear distinction. And again, being a limited company just, I think, gives you that little bit of extra kudos. I don't know, makes it a little bit more official. But the name Thrive actually comes from listening to a late night radio show with Colin Murray on BBC 5 Radio 5 Live. It was when COP20, he had a reporter at COP26, and I was just lying in bed and just thought of trees, because my logo is a tree. It's fairly standard tree. But so Thrive just came to me the next morning, because I want my clients to thrive. I want me to thrive. And one of my favorite sayings is about that, I want to do more than survive. I really want to thrive. It's a bit of a cliched one.
Brilliant. No,
but yeah, so Thrive in the Tree came from listening to Colin Murray 3 years ago, talking about it was talking about the Amazon, and we're all talking about planting trees, but we need to stop cutting up, flipping things down, really, don't we? But that's
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's how and I have to say, so because I'm disabled, yes, I don't look it sitting here, but my hands get quite crampy if I'm tired. and my mental health has just been really rocky. I have recovered from ME, thankfully. That was in 2009. But I don't work well for one company. I seem to be able to manage 20 people in various ways much easier than I.
So do you mean in 20 staff or 20 clients?
Oh, clients. Yeah. Oh, I would love to. No, I can manage 20 clients all emailing me and phoning me.
Yeah.
But the thought of working for one business and one manager who expect, I just, we all know what
that's what business ownership is all about, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, I think we'd all agree that, well, the three of us here probably wouldn't be very good with a manager, would we, Mark? I don't know. I know I wouldn't be.
I know I'm totally unemployable, but that's fine. I'm fine with that. So I think my curtains keep blowing.
Great. Right. Anyway, so you've done a number of years, and obviously 3 years ago set up Thrive. I mean, where are you now versus where you expected to be? I mean, has the journey sort of been a bit of a weave and kind of changed and is different to what you expected?
Well, when I saw that question, when I look back at that time, I didn't really have expectations. I didn't have any desires to grow a team of 20 and offer this and offer that. It was about getting through the day without feeling ill. So it was very much day to day. It's really tricky to answer that because I had very little expectations other than, so I got myself off incapacity benefit. I was on housing benefit for a few years, and then, but I'm now in a flat of my own that I pay a mortgage on. Had a bit of help from mum and dad, bless them, thank you, mum and dad. And I'm paying the bills. I think a few times.
That's success in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. And that I have to really, I struggle, and it's really in the next question, but I have to I used to really compare myself to other people, and I really try hard not to do that now.
Very wise.
Yeah, it's a wasted emotion. It's a wasted emotion comparing yourself.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about that then. I mean, that's a decent segue to the next kind of question around what you've learned. And we all learn a lot because life is a journey, whether that sounds corny or not. We don't we're not born with all of the answers, are we? We sort of, over the years, we sort of learn stuff, personal, professional. So what's your...
I made notes, but I'm not going to refer back to it. I did make notes just to sort of clarify in my own head what I have learned. Because I haven't ever worked in a practice with clients, I had very little experience of being in an office and being corporate and all that sort of thing. So I really had to learn. That works fine if you're only working with tradespeople or one-man bands who aren't expecting you to be that little bit more corporate. But then I've got a particular client who has about 10 people in the office, and I work with his office administrator. So the expectation is there to have that little bit more organisation, and you can't just fly by the seat of your pants a little bit. So I've had to teach myself that sort of thing, like time management, having a to-do list. I rarely have a to-do list. Somehow I have learned to diarise things better, and so on and so on and so on. I've learned to be kinder to myself.
Very, very important.
Yeah, and acknowledge the learning I've done. So doing the AAT, and I've had to learn to be better at CPD. Yeah. I mean, currently I'm having to do an audit with the AAT and the ECW. So that's a bit of and get my ducks in a row. That's been that's a challenge. I've learned that I need to take more time off. I realised a couple of days ago I've really had no time off this year.
Oh my goodness.
It's ridiculous. I always loved the week of badminton horse trials back in May. So I definitely had about 3 or 4 days off then. I just thought I haven't. And then I have a long weekend here or there, or I'll just.
And you take time out from singing, don't you?
Yeah. So, well, this is it. So I turned 50 this year. And I lost a friend a few weeks ago who was 51. And although I hadn't seen her for a number of years, we still stayed in touch with Bert. But we were really best friends as sort of at 16. We rode together. Sorry. Yeah.
So you need to.
I need to make some more time for myself. But I do also want to. The things I want to do. I want to buy a bigger house for the garden, for a garden for Holly.
Yeah.
And so I'm determined to. Oh, life really is. My friend passed away on the sofa, and they just asleep, and it's just. Yeah. So
life is for living, and don't take it for granted. And I mean, it's really great to have you on here, because I think there'll be so many people who can identify with you just on the human level, because if you go onto LinkedIn or something like that, you see this kind of facade.
I hate LinkedIn, sorry.
But you're the real deal, aren't you? So are you okay? You're going to cough?
No, I had a terrible. Do you know one thing on a practical level that I've really learned is the right questions to ask when you go to meet a new client, because you learn a new question. Oh, I should have asked that with the last guy. Just simple things like, I mean, it's bitten me on the bum once when I asked a client, are you registered for VAT? And he said no. What your next question should be is, should you be registered for VAT? And that's bitten me in the bum a couple of years ago. So we realised, but he should have been registered for VAT before, about 8 months before I came along, and because there was so much other stuff to sort out. But you do live and learn, and and just to make sure you've got all the right information. That is. And just to follow your gut with people.
You're absolutely right, Nikki. And even that question, are you registered for VAT? I know accountants who've told me that they took on a client who said, and this has happened more than once, took on a client who said yes, and then they found out that they weren't registered for VAT. They should have been, but the reason they said yes, is because people charged them VAT. They didn't understand. They didn't understand the question.
Oh no, that's tricky.
We have to make sure questions that clients will understand. I appreciate with a sort of defined client base. Do you have a waiting list, or do you just hope you don't lose any clients because there aren't more coming on?
That's really tricky, because I'm more or less on my own. I've recently taken on a lady who just does a few hours in the month, snapping receipts and matching them to bank transactions. So that's just given me a little bit of a lever. It's not the right word, a little bit of leverage to now think I can take a bit more on. But because of my health, and I'm really bad at getting up in the morning. I mean, I just really do not get up early, but then I'll quite often work till 6 or 7 at night. If I've got the dinner cooking, I'll just have the laptop on reconciling an account or something, because that's quite a quiet time when people aren't ringing you and emailing you. So I feel like I can get an extra hour in there. But no, I don't have a waiting list. Oh gosh, that would be not heard of such a thing. Does that exist with other clients? Well, because I suppose, but I have a regular, so I'm really proud that my website is top of Google in Wiltshire. I get regular inquiries from that.
Amazing. That's
And
really
I've done,
good.
what I've learned, and again, another learning thing is I've learned how to do marketing on a very tight budget. I've never had a budget, but I'm working with a guy in Reading who's done, he's just dipped in and out, and he'll add a blog for me. I use ChatGPT to create a blog for me. I'll muck about with it, and I know muck about, that good old technical creative term. But then it's not necessarily for people to read, it's for content and to drive traffic to the website.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
good for you.
so yeah, so but I don't want an influx of 20 customers in one go, otherwise I get really bad overwhelm. And I had a really bad patch. I actually had 3 customers leave. One actually went out of business, didn't recover fully from COVID. So that was, one was a project, he needed somebody in the office more and I didn't want to be that person. And another one just moved to her accountant. That one stung a bit, but that left me really short over December through to about March. And I'm just coming to my year end. And I've just overtaken revenue wise what I did last year, even though I had a really bad patch.
Very
so
good.
So I was like, it's been hard.
So what mistakes have you made then? Let's shoehorn that in as well, because I'm sure.
Okay. Not asking the right questions is really bad. We were speaking before we went live, and I was like, oh, I've made a couple of bloopers. Nothing. The only one I really, but there should have been there were other controls in place which failed. I paid somebody 3 months worth of salary, which after they'd actually left but they were a contractor, and I never got, despite asking numerous times. I'll say Holly's upset about that. The client, I always wanted him to check, and he was always too busy. And then there was an umbrella company as well who were actually running the payrolls. So anyway, lesson learned: I do not touch people's bank accounts. I do not make payments from people's bank accounts. It's just a hard no for me, because I just don't want that. So that's a lesson learned. Insurance covered it all, fine, not a problem. But that was in about 2012, and that was a really stressful time. But it was a client that I'd had for about 6 years, and the work spilled over into administering the contractors he had, and it just wasn't it wasn't bookkeeping, it was contractor administration, and I just shouldn't have. It was fine for a while, and then it just
I think that's a really good lesson to share. Which is not taking.
I've not done anything that's the worst thing I've done, and that's the money was recovered from the client. I learned a lesson, never making payments again. And just it taught me a lesson about having more controls in place, which, as we all know, is hugely important.
Very much. And I think you've also alluded earlier to a key lesson that you learned, or mistake that you made, which, whether it's a mistake to start up before you've got the experience to know what you don't know, but we all get to that stage where we recognize we need to know what it is we don't know, so that we can get the right support or the right help, or have hard no's, because
surround yourself with people who can teach you. I worked quite closely with somebody who didn't challenge my reports enough, so that led to some bad habits in the very early days. But other people, I now work with a lot of other accountants, and my standards of reporting, obviously where they should be, but you only learn that as an inexperienced bookkeeper, and I did all the training, but you learn about business because somebody coming in and saying, oh, I've done the bookkeeper, I've done, it's ICB, isn't it, AAT, but dealing with clients and dealing with HMRC and making tax digital for VAT. I was an associate with another accountancy in Reading at the time, and myself and the bookkeeper who was on their payroll, we cried many, just tears of frustration. So, learning, that's been a challenge.
I'm sure, and I can understand that. And I appreciate the frustrations as well. Do you tend to get more inquiries from accountants or from direct clients when it comes to
direct clients? So do you know, also I've hit a few lucky nails on the head through so I have a lovely bakery in Reading, and in COVID he was in the next road from my flat. I used to buy cake from him, and then he put on his Instagram, oh, I need a bookkeeper, does anyone know a bookkeeper? I was like, yeah, me. So that was 2020. And another lady I picked up on Threads, actually, she was bemoaning the having to spend money because the government are making tax digital. And she's really local. In actual fact, she's in I mean, she couldn't be more local. I don't know why she came on my feed, but I said, look, I said, I'll chat you through some free advice. Anyway, now she's a really sweet client. I've had a couple of lads who've set up a company doing car valeting, so I get all sorts. A few word of mouths, which is quite nice. I don't have the sort of clients that know many people, but I have a photographer. He's mentioned me to another photographer. That's a new client in the last couple of months. So it's sort of and this accountant that's retiring, he's got a bookkeeper working with him who's also retiring. So you have to keep the ball rolling with not shutting down mentally that you've got enough work or too much work. You've got to keep the pipeline flowing and remember to
That's very, very good advice, very, very important advice. Well, thank you for sharing that. We're coming towards the end, and Philippa, having heard all that, and just before I ask Nikki to share her contact details, what would you say makes Thrive Bookkeeping and Nikki unique and successful?
Well, I think I'm the only healthy person here at the moment who isn't coughing, so I'll try my best. I think we all hear this phrase with heart, a bookkeeper with heart or something. But I think Nikki is that person, isn't she? I mean, she just like,
and my surname sort of
Gentle, isn't it? Nicky Gentle. Yeah, I just think that, you're very, again, it all sounds very kind of, I don't know, a bit mushy, but that it's sort of a human. People say, "Oh, I'm." But I mean, you are warts and all, and heart on a sleeve, and Mark's crying even. I mean, he's that emotional about it. No, but I would say that. I would say that genuine. You are a genuine person who has ups and downs, is very honest about it, and what you see is what you get. And I'm sure that anybody kind of listening to this who just wants somebody that they can sort of really rely on, it's going to be you.
I was going to say everything, I see there's something figure bookkeeping thing that and there's a lot of I've had to take myself out of the bookkeeping chat on LinkedIn because they all appear to be doing fabulously well. I'm just me. I do receipts. I deal with the messy stuff. It's not, and yes, I'm using automate. I mean QuickBooks. Yeah, zero QuickBooks. Sorry, QuickBooks for me. you know, it is sometimes just about getting down and doing receipts and matching, and so I can look at a balance sheet that somebody else has done and so, God, what does that look like, and sort the mess out. What's really important to me as well is my personal ethics in terms of my beliefs around climate change and animal welfare. So I'm very strict. If somebody comes to me as a client and they're sort of flying stuff over from India, and you know, they're drop shipping or something, that's not my bag. So I really am trying to work really with really green companies, and yeah, so I've just got really important to me, and I do donate from the company to animal charities, couple donkey charity in Morocco, and little pony rescuing charity, and Holly was a rescue dog. So sorry, rambling on, but I just
it's fascinating that it's almost 2 interviews running. We've had reference to sustainability. And I love.
I listened to that last night.
I love the nominative determinism. Nicky Gentle by name, gentle by nature.
And
how just find out more about you and your firm? Where's the best place for them to go?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Nicky Gentle, and my website is thrivebookkeeping.co.uk. You can contact me that way. My email is ngentle@thrivebookkeeping.co.uk. Yes, it would be a delight to speak to people, actually. And you know, apart from anything else, I'm really proud that I've got here, that I've run a business for 18 years. It's developed and grown, and I've learned. And I may not be the most technically perfect bookkeeper, accountant, but I get the job done. I get it done on time. I've got long-standing clients, and I'm trying to learn and be more adaptable in terms of things changing. So yeah, I'll shut up now.
And you're earning a living from it as well, which is
just about. I'd like to really pricing is something I need to look at, because
let's talk about that in the next bit, because we've got
that'd be really
good.
So thank you for that, Nikki. In our extra bonus interview for Patreon subscribers only, we'll ask you to talk about the biggest challenges you're currently facing. Pricing may well be one of those, how you're addressing them, and how you're integrating or resisting AI in your practice. But before that, Philippa, how can listeners find out more about you and Insight 101?
Well, the best place to find me is on LinkedIn, where this will be streaming now. So I support accountants and bookkeepers to stand out so they can create a brand story and marketing, including their website, that attracts and inspires their ideal clients, ensuring that they build a path to the future they want whilst adding more value. So get in touch via LinkedIn, best place really. And Mark, how can people find out about you?
Online everywhere. I'm Bookmark Lee. And one thing I've learned over years of working with accountants is running your own business can feel lonely, isolating, even when things look fine on the surface. And we've heard some detail about how Nikki might appear to be fine on the surface, but underneath there's been a lot going on there. My focus is accountants running their own practices, whether with or without staff. And if that's you and you'd like things to feel clearer, smoother, and more rewarding, that's where I come in. Whether you're after better clients, fewer frustrations, more profit on your terms, I'm always happy to have a chat. There's no pressure, no pitch. Sometimes one good conversation is all it takes. Other times, maybe we work together on one-to-one mentoring, or you might want to join my Soul Practice Club. Either way, the first step is easy. Just reach out. In any event, do please make sure you reach out to Philippa and I on LinkedIn, and do please follow the podcast pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on Patreon.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sadly, that's all we have time for today on the main podcast. Thank you very much, Nikki. We'll be talking to you in a lot more detail shortly. But before then, our thanks to the sponsors of the podcast, Pinnacle Global Group, your trusted outsourcing partner. Do check out their website and let their CEO, Mayank, know that you heard about them through this podcast.
And thanks to the Tax Advice Network, the easiest way for accountants to reach specialist tax advisors. Remember, there's no charge for using the website findataxadvisor.online, where you can also access their weekly tax tips written especially for general practitioner accountants.
Yeah, and if you've enjoyed this episode, please share the love online, subscribe and leave a review on Apple or Spotify or even YouTube, and let us have your feedback directly too. It all helps to broaden the reach of the podcast. And if anybody listening to this is interested in being an interviewee in 2026, would you believe, then please do get in touch with us.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Philippa. Thank you, Nikki, for being a wonderful guest. Next week, we have what will be our 15th Reflections episode, when Philippa and I will share inspiration drawn from our most recent interviews. On this occasion, as well as today's interview with Nikki, we'll be reflecting on what we heard from Penny Allard, Stuart Harris, and Richard Wilson Artis. Before then, we're going to get some further insights from Nikki now for our Patreon subscribers. And if you'd like to be one of those, just head over to our Patreon page, Patreon, that's patreon.com/accountants success secret, singular, don't ask. That's where you'll hear about the biggest challenges that Nikki is currently facing and her approach to them. And I'm sure we'll also talk about integration of AI. Until next week or anywhere else we might meet online or in real life, bye-bye for now.
Bye.